welcome to 15 Minute Chef. Tonight is an oldie but goodie. It's Parmesan wild mushroom pasta, and I'm going to cook a little steak to go with it. I'm going to go ahead and start turning on everything on my stove, my oven, and I'm going to turn my oven all the way up to 450 because we are going to do a steak in the oven. So one of the first things I'm going to do, wash my hands. While I'm doing that, I'm heating up my pasta water. Got a little hand sanitizer here too. Got some of my ingredients kind of all laid out for me that I prepped this morning for dinner tonight. Butter and egg, some Parmesan cheese, chopped tasso and bacon, minced garlic that I love so much. And in this bowl is some chopped mushrooms and chopped onions tossed with a little Old Bay seasoning. Back here I've got a steak that I marinated in olive oil, salt and pepper, keeping it real simple. All right. So I'm going to add to my pan for the steak a little oil, let it heat up. Same thing here for my pasta. It's going to be for my pasta. I'm going to put in my bacon and my tasso first. So as that heats up, it's going to slowly start cooking the meat, and the bacon grease is going to come out with all its good fat and deliciousness, and then the tasso also. So we got all three things going. We got the oven going, we got the mushrooms going. What a crazy year so far. A Category 5 hurricane in November. Who's ever heard of that? I hope you all are ready for the holiday season. We're going to be doing a few episodes on some of the sides, some really cool sides for Thanksgiving. We're even going to do an episode on duck for the holidays. A lot of people are scared to cook duck. They think it's this mystique creature that is almost impossible to cook. Only professional chefs can cook, but it's not. It's super, super easy. So be looking for that episode. It's not going to be in 15 minutes. However, you can prep it and cook it and put it on to cook in 15 minutes, and then you're going to have to cook it for many, many hours. But it's a very, very simple, easy recipe. So I got a second camera over here. Hopefully you guys are going to see some of the video footage from that, and I'm going to show y'all that we're cooking down that tasso. We're getting that pan hot for that steak. I personally love to use a wooden spoon for a lot of my cooking. One, if you have non-stick skillets, makes it safe. And I sometimes in the rush forget which skillets are non-stick. I'll, hurry up and grab something. So a wooden spoon is pretty much safe to use on anything in the kitchen. So it's my go-to. So we got that going. We're gonna throw the steak on. Get a nice, using a separate set of tongs for that. Get a nice sear on it. You're going to hear it make a nice little sizzle. So while that tasso is cooking, after it finishes rendering down, or while it's rendering, I'm going to go ahead and start adding my garlic. I keep forgetting I put my strings and barks over here in my new island. So we're going to do about a half a teaspoon of garlic right there on the side. It's going to start browning. When you cook garlic, as you cook it, it changes the flavor. When you use raw garlic, Very tangy, very strong taste. As you brown garlic, it starts to soften. The taste and the flavor changes completely. My bacon and my tasso are starting to get smaller. You're starting to see the bacon curl up, which is always a good sign. We're flipping that steak over, getting it seared on the second side. So it's looking nice. Then we're going to throw that in the oven. Now you can use any steak you want. You can use a fillet if you're trying to be a little bit healthier than me. My doctor's watching this. I'm sure he's like, I also like the New York strip, and then pretty much everybody in my family likes the ribeye. We love that. So I'm going to take the ribeye and I'm going to throw it in the oven. I'm going to turn that burner off. Actually, I think I'm going to leave that burner on, but I'm going to slide the pasta over to the second camera so y'all can see it. Now I'm going to start adding in my onions and my mushrooms. And when you add your mushrooms in, it's going to look like a pan is super full, but don't worry. As the mushrooms cook, of course they shrink. So, looks like a lot now. It'll be a little bit later. I got my back pot going. I'm going to do some angel hair. Just because it's fast, it's easy. And that's what the hubs likes the most. I'm going to have to put on this burner. This burner's a little too slow for me. Give you an idea of what it's looking like in that second camera. We put our garlic in. While we're waiting on everything to cook, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the credible edible egg. So this is the egg. I'm actually going to separate it. I just want to use the yolk. That's it. So I'm going to use highly technical tool in my kitchen called my hand. Crack the egg right into my hand. I'm going to let the yolk separate from the white using my hand. I'm going to put the yolk right there in that dish. Make sure you wash your hands. Nothing carries more salmonella than an egg. So these last three things that are on my island are what we typically love to finish pasta with. Butter, cheese, and an egg yolk. I know it sounds crazy, an egg yolk, but it's true. It's a big hush-hush secret we don't like to tell y'all. But it makes the sauce very rich. It thickens it. It does a lot of things to it that we really like as chefs. It just adds another layer of richness, especially to a cream sauce. Also, one of the things that I love the most about doing cream sauces, I like to add a little truffle oil. So if you have some, put it in there. It's looking very good. Soon we're going to add our heavy cream, butter, cheese, and egg yolk. And pasta is going to be ready. Now you want to let it cook until you see those mushrooms, onions start to become translucent. Your meat is completely rendered out. It's starting to shrivel up. It just looks like beautiful meat, no fat. You can't see the fat because the fat is all now in with the mushrooms and the onions. And your mushrooms are starting to turn this beautiful golden brown color. Ooh, and it's smelling good. That's always a good sign. So I got it where I want it. Now I'm going to start adding in the heavy cream. I'm going to let that heavy cream cook down. I can hear my... Oh yeah. Stir in the pasta. Pasta's looking good. Heavy cream. We're going to let it simmer, and then we're going to add all these beautiful, lovely, wonderful things into it that's going to make it taste great. Now, when you pull the steak out of the oven, this is really super important, and a lot of people don't know about meat. You have to rest the meat, and I'm going to explain why. When you sear meat and then you cook it, you pull all the juices to the outside of the meat. So anytime you cook any meat, pork, beef, even sometimes with my chicken breasts, let the meat rest. It's got to do what it needs to do. It's got to rest for a second so the juices can go back to the center of the meat. And so when you cut the meat, you can actually see what the temperature is. It's very misleading. If you take meat right out the oven and you cut it open, it's going to be very misleading to you because the juices are kind of like everywhere. So wait a few minutes when you take your meat out, let it rest, let it sit, and then you can start slicing it. I personally, when I serve meat, I like to slice it for my guests. So you'll kind of see on this plate presentation, I'll have the pasta and then I'll have sliced meat band out around it. It looks nice. All right. So when you start to see the cream bubbling like that, it's the bubbling, you can see all the water's coming out, and the cream is just getting thicker and thicker. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to do what's called the nap test. You take a spoon, you're going to dip it in the cream, and you're going to rush your finger across, and that can tell you how thick it is or it isn't. Okay? So it's almost there. Oh, I'm so tempted to with my finger. Okay, so as it's cooking, I'm going to start adding first Parmesan cheese, which be careful, do not add too much seasoning because remember, I'm adding Pecorino Romano in. Pecorino is one of my favorite, but it is also very salty. So always wait to salt to the very, very end because when you add cheese, especially Parmesan cheese, it's very salty. It can mislead you very quickly. It's looking nice. We're going to add some butter, like 2 teaspoons of butter. We're going to stir it in. Pasta's almost done. The steak is looking good. It's time to pull it out and let it have a little siesta, a little break, a little resting of the meat. Don't forget the pan is very hot. We're going to take that nice piece of meat and we're going to put it right there on the cutting board and let it rest. I wonder if see how our pasta's doing. Oh yeah, we're almost there. See that back there? Oh yeah, it's looking good. I'm actually going to pull the pasta and drain it and then finish cooking it in the sauce so it gets the flavor of the sauce. Like that. Oh, it's looking good. Oh, it looks nice. Needs a little more cheese. We're going to add that egg yolk right there at the end. I'm turning off everything off because I'm going to use the carryover heat to finish cooking it. And then right here at the end, you're going to add your egg yolk right there over the top. Let me get this right here. You're going to break that egg yolk and you're just going to stir it in. That's gonna make it nice, rich pasta. Ooh, that's looking good. Yeah, we like it. All right, guys, I'm gonna plate up. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. And don't forget, we're also doing a giveaway for $50 Visa gift cards. We're going to be running all the month of December, so make sure you get signed up early. All you need to do is subscribe and share. That's it. Look forward to seeing you guys again. See you soon. 15 Minute Chef.